and welcome back to another edition of the Oh No Wrestling Podcast. Tonight with me, of course, your one and only Short Break Head. It's the King of Bong Style. And of course, from that mile-high city itself, the modern-day Maharaja, Matthew.
Fuck you, buddy!
That's right. We are back indeed with another edition of the Ono Wrestling Podcast. We've got some predictions tonight.
Ah, shit.
Oh, yeah we do.
And you know how Chaz Blazer, he likes to do a couple of things. What does he like to do?
He likes to chase some tails and blaze trails, baby.
Yeah, well, good old Globsky over here. I came here to do two things, and that's to booze and that's to lose.
Oh, good old Bobsky himself. It's been a while.
He's a mask as a coaster, like a classy, charismatic motherfucker that I am.
Yeah.
That's good. That's very good.
It's good to see you, boys. If you didn't catch that intro there, my name's Owen. I'm with Duncan. I'm with Matthew. It's the regular trio of Ono Wrestling back again this week. Thanks again to Kyle Deuce, who stopped by the show and last week and helped promote what I would like to just kind of give a shout out again today, because the event is, of course, is it? Oh shit! What is it?
It's the 25th.
It's the 25th.
I just finished listening to the podcast. Actually, been listening to it over the past 2 days. Great show, boys, good brothers. And,
You just listened to Owen Barry.
But I did just hear it at the end when you guys were running through everything again, and it was the 25th.
Okay, good. Yes,
This
it
Friday.
is the 25th. September 25th. It's going to be 8 p. Sorry. Oh shit! My intro's playing again. There we go. No, it's
Easy.
check out Thunder Championship Wrestling. Great independent wrestling promotion here in the Central Florida area, in the beautiful town of Winter Haven, Florida, in the most prestigious of counties, that is the Polk. Buy tickets at $10. That's all there is left, is $10 tickets. And because they sold out all the high, tabletops and whatnot. But check it out. It's at Tanner's Lakeside, Winter Haven, Florida. Again, one of the most beautiful places you could ever go to. I think you'll see a fantastic wrestling show should you make it down to, again, beautiful Winter Haven, Florida.
I'm coming there on vacation.
Dude, you should.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna fly in on Spirit Airways. First class. I think the whole thing of Spirit Airways is first class.
You know what?
Just come in with all the charisma, all the class, whining and dining, flying. It'll probably be like a private jet because no one's on that shit. And just come in to, what is it, Winter Haven?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Winter Haven, Florida.
Yeah,
the home of.
That's what I pictured, is a little slice of heaven, baby. I'm gonna come down there and just I don't know, booze and lose, I guess.
Dude, you'll check it out. You'll have a good time there too, because there's Legoland is in Winter Haven, Florida.
You have to have a child to go there.
Do you?
Yes.
You're not allowed in if you're just an adult?
That's
Correct.
bullshit.
What?
Yep.
What? But
Hey.
adults, but they make Legos for adults that you can't.
Yeah,
use if
but
you're
Legoland, I think they're drawing the line at adults just hanging out, creeping on kids at Legoland.
I don't know how I feel about this. It takes
I
points.
feel okay with the fact that they're doing away with creepers looking at kids, but I reserve the right to fucking go to Legoland if I want to as a non-creeper of children.
It says 0
And lover-
through
and lover of
99.
Legos.
It says 0 through 99 on my last Lego set that I bought, and so maybe those old fuckers that are 100, maybe don't let those in. but I should be allowed in. I'm 34 years old. I'm right in the demographic, you know?
Then you should find a child to go with you instead of just creeping around.
Can I borrow a child from one?
I think there's a legality involved at some point in borrowing a child. There has to be some sort of consent given.
I don't know.
But I think also Legoland may be I don't know if Legoland is enforcing a mask mandate, is what I will say.
Well, you know, talking of masks, let's get right into the wrestling because I wear.
Is there a mask versus mask match?
Well, not that I know of yet, but there
Okay.
But there should be. There absolutely should be. I will say though that I've been wearing my mask in public. We've all been wearing masks because we're responsible human beings. You know who else is wearing masks? And is recently exclusive to Raw. It's Retribution.
Oh, Jesus
man.
fucking Christ. Okay, so we're just going to get right into it.
We might as well. It's a wrestling show, and it's the biggest story and biggest news topic of the week. The debut, not debut of Retribution, but sort of the debut of Retribution.
The naming and unmasking the identification of Retribution.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Let me, full disclosure, did not watch. Fell asleep at 9:30 last night. Did not watch.
I'm sure you've seen some thumbnails or some pictures by now.
Oh, trust me, when I woke up and I got out of Twitter jail, I was just like, hey, look at all this ridiculous bullshit. What the fuck was that? And
did you listen to the promo?
No, I probably should have.
So when they started the promo, they're like, yeah, and we signed with WWE now, so we can do whatever we want when we want. And I'm like, it seems like you've basically been doing whatever you want when you weren't signed to WWE. So why did you have to sign to WWE to do what you want when you want?
And I'm pretty sure that all of you were signed to WWE for a long time because we recognize all of you, you dipshits.
Yeah, but
well, the one thing I did know is that, and that people kept talking about, they're just like, so why did Mia Yim cost Keith Lee a championship opportunity?
There was a lot of weird things. Like, why did it take 2 months for Drew McIntyre and the rest of the roster to run down? Like, why did it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a lot.
I don't know.
Going on.
They should have pulled that trigger a while ago, but they did it. So I guess we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm underwhelmed. So we have pretty much 4 of the 5 names. We don't have the person who's under the fucking Bane mask or whatever it is.
I'm so underwhelmed by it, and like the renaming. Okay, look.
That's slow down.
Mace,
slow down. We're running
Is this
through it
aces
too
and
fast.
eights? Jesus.
The masks.
The masks.
I don't hate them as much as I think everyone else does. Surprisingly, I think they kind of looked a bit Farouk-ish in the fact they look too foamy. Does that make sense? Like remember the old gladiator?
Oh yeah.
That he had?
Old fucking I do remember.
Yeah.
that was not good.
Did you get the vibe that I'm saying to you though with those?
Like, I do.
I like that they still had masks. I think we can make them better. But I do kind of like that they're keeping this kind of dynamic. I do hope that there's going to be someone that comes out as maybe a real star that can kind of like get this thing back on track, or it just becomes a comedy group. And at this point, wouldn't it be better just to make them a fucking comedy group?
No. God damn it. Like, no, I don't think that's good at all.
Oh.
No, I don't. I think that they, what's the word I'm looking for? they dicked the chicken on this one.
Dick, I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not
expression.
familiar with that term either.
welcome to
Duncan
growing up
Lexicon.
That should be one of
101.
your finishing moves, the dick chicken.
Dicking the chicken.
Yeah, dicking
Yeah.
the chicken.
He's about to dick the chicken, folks. All right. Well, now that's gonna happen. Yeah. So realistically, you look at that and it's like, okay, you know who all these people are.
Yeah.
And then we renamed them. Okay.
And yes, that's just. Should we say the names? Should we?
Let's get to that because I still
Okay.
want to talk about these masks.
Yeah.
So you're right. They could make them better.
Yeah.
But Matthew was also right too that they had 2 months to make sense of this shit. And if
Ooh,
they were
that's
going to put them in masks from the beginning, then they would have had 2 months to make these masks really good and not just make it look like Bane and Morton Joe and Jason Voorhees. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the costume designer on this?
Dude, their props people are usually really good. So I don't know where the fuck this fell apart.
I feel like, remember when right before Dean Ambrose left and became John Moxley, he was doing this.
He was wearing
weird,
that stupid ass fucking
the Bane
respirator,
jacket, and he was wearing the vent thing. Yeah, and he was.
and he
I'm looking at
hated
a screenshot right now, and I literally think it could. I could put them side by side, and you'd be like, that's maybe John Moxley.
I bet
Like
you
just based
money
on the mask.
that someone backstage just has this boner for Bane. It's probably Vince. He probably finally saw that movie, whatever it is, The Dark Knight Rises.
It's like I love
Which
that he's
from-
pumped to steroids and he gets
from
jacked and he fights people.
Yeah, from
It's
10
such
years ago
good
or whatever.
shit.
Yeah, he saw it on a plane one time. Then
Yep.
he made John Moxley like, you should wear that jacket. That jacket is fucking tits. Like, and put the mask on. We're gonna make you a and then he saved it all, and it became Retribution.
and it was a big wet fart.
And what are they retributing? It's people
The
making
fact that
money
they signed
in the locker
with
room?
WWE, they signed with the main roster
because that's what they were saying in the promos. Like
Yep.
everyone on the Raw roster is here for the money and like blah blah blah. You know, while all these other wrestlers are left out in the cold. It's like, well, you just signed with the company that you said everyone said.
I'm mad at the company that I just signed a contract with.
Yeah. Like that doesn't make any sense.
I
to me.
signed the contract because I was mad in the first place. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
And they're Raw exclusive. Like you can do what you want whenever you want, but you were doing that before. But now that you're signed, you have to stick to Raw.
but now you have to stay on Raw.
True anarchists, guys. True anarchists stick
Abide by
to-
rules.
To abide by
Yeah.
rules because that's
Yes.
more anarchic.
Yeah.
Sorry, anarchistic.
anarchic
It's
was-
more
Anarchistic?
punk rock to vote Republican than it is. Is that what you're saying? Is that the
That's
argument that you're?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
No,
that's
but I
what
mean, like, that's the sort of-
Retribution's mentality is.
I get what I get it. I get
Yeah.
it, and it's just like, God damn it! Why? First of all, where the fuck has Retribution been? Okay.
Mm.
Like, where were they on the pay-per-view that they should have been on?
That
the
was their
masks weren't
namesake.
fucking ready. No,
Oh,
the masks
you're
weren't
right.
ready.
That's why they didn't show it at Payback.
That's why they didn't show
Yeah.
up. And because they were like, you know what, guys? We are really, really close to figuring out these names. We just got to knock them down. So we got T-Virus and Slapnuts and I don't remember the other one.
I
The Ball
mean,
Sniffer.
you're
I
not
don't-
you're not far off. You're really
Yeah.
I know. It's
like-
T-Bar and
T-Bar-
Slapjack.
and Mace.
and Maze
and
yeah, Mace.
First of all, Mace Windu is Samuel L. Jackson
No,
from Star Wars. We all know that.
No, he isn't. Mace.
Yes,
is
he is.
No, he isn't. He's the '90s rapper that was pals with fucking Puff Daddy.
Okay, but see, those are two different Maces. It's a different spelling.
well, and he used to
Because it's M-A-S-E or M-A-C-E, and it's M-A-S with a $sign E.
You're right. God damn it, I hate when you're right.
Why do you... Come on.
But fucking Mace was like the laziest of all the rappers. He basically just kind of like was half asleep, and
He did the. First of all, that was not half asleep.
Oh, well.
That's Blunts, son.
That's Blunts.
He then became a preacher.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Well,
See the
yeah.
things that see.
Hey, Retribution.
Welcome to
Retribution.
That's the connection. Mace is the leader.
Yeah.
That's you know
So,
what?
okay,
That's about
so-
the only way that you can save it right now would be to have Mace the rapper come and be the leader of Retribution.
What if you had Cisco, like Silverhead Cisco, come out
thong song
and
it
just
out
like-
there?
Yeah, I guess, dude. I think I would like that better at this point.
Yeah. I think Miro should have come out like that because he came out with the bleach blonde, like Slim Shady hair.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, the thong song. He had Gucci thong on.
He should have come out like rapping to Eminem from 1998.
Right. So Twitter had kind of like a lot of fun with the name thing, but one of my favorites was someone posted a GIF, and it was what's his name? Ben Stiller from Dodgeball as Dwight Goodman.
Yeah,
and
where he's got the mustache and the mullet. He looks like
Dude,
me.
It says they sound like teammates of Dwight Goodman.
They
And
do.
that's the GIF of
They really do.
I was like,
They
yeah.
are on the Globo Gym Purple Cobras. There's no
Yeah.
question about that.
It's super
And then
funny.
someone posted the picture of also from that movie, when they wore all the S&M gear, like Vince Vaughn and his team, and then it was cut, and it was like a picture of Retribution standing there.
So realistically, is there any way to save it at this point with you guys?
Dude, I
Like,
think that
how-
have you read the reports of all of the wrestlers just laughing at it backstage?
No, I haven't.
That
I
was
haven't read
one of
those.
that was one of the big things that I had read earlier, was just that like the majority of the roster couldn't keep a straight face. They're just like, oh my god, this is so bad. Like they were laughing.
Like they
Hold on.
feel bad probably for laughing, but it's not gonna stop them from laughing.
Right.
Like, it's one. Yeah. All the ribbing they probably got too. Like all those guys. Like, oh, Dijakovic. Like I can never say his name correctly.
Dijakovic?
Yeah, you know, you imagine him just like walking through that curtain and like the feeling he must have, like, because you know you can even see it in the promo. All of them know it sucks as it's going on. Like that, and that's one of the reasons it won't work, is that if they can't believe it, why am I gonna believe? You know, why am I gonna get invested in it? You can't. So it's a fascinating thing that they've done here, that literally, I think the only way you could save Retribution is a CM Punk return. That is the only thing that you could do. And even if he might have been and wanted to think of, which I don't think he was, even if he might have entertained the thought of it before, he ain't gonna do it now.
No.
Yeah, that if they wanted to do it, that ship is set sail. It's just not going to work. Now it would make it even that much more idiotic. I feel like if they tried to bring him in now to do that, they had a chance. And I just pulled up some of these things that you were talking about, Duncan, and they said so.
The backstage
quote, just talked to a
comments and
source
stuff.
who was in the building last night. Said the presentation of Retribution was a major topic of discussion, met with laughter at times backstage. Direct quote: "The masks and names are already making the road for these guys impossible to climb." Then we had we had a female wrestler who was quoted as saying, they don't have the wrestler's name, obviously, quoted as saying, "I feel bad for Mia and Mercedes. It's a good spot, but they've worked so long and are facing a battle to not make this look as dumb as it is." Someone else from SmackDown said, "I think they load up Raw with that stuff because it's a longer show, but we weren't told why Retribution was off SmackDown." And another star reacted to the group and their names. saying, quote, "It sounds like something out of a bad movie or game, but I'm not sure Vince plays games or watches movies anymore."
Oh, so this must be a Vince creation, right?
It would have to, dude. It's
It
Vince
feels
and
like it.
Bruce.
It feels like it. It reeks of it.
Yeah,
It does.
because it's not good, and all of that talent is really good, and they deserve better than this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be shit talking this. I really don't. Like, it's the last thing I want to do when Mia Yim gets called up is shit talk on it, because I fucking love Mia Yim.
And to be honest with you, I've been very hopeful about the Retribution since day one. I'm like, wow, there's something cool about this. I love
Has potential.
Has potential. I loved, like, I remember texting you, Duncan, when they chainsawed the ropes and shit. Like, I was like, no, that's just cool. Like, that was awesome. I enjoyed.
They had some cool moments. There were a couple of moments where it's just like, I don't get it. Like, you're trying to be cool and you're not really being cool. It's being very staged is how it felt for a lot of it.
I think that's part of the problem.
Which is like, yeah, it's a fabricated, a predetermined show, but how did those fucking NWO attacks feel so real back in the 90s?
And that's why I say, could you save it by just turning it now into a comedy act? Because it already,
dude, like, what are they gonna
already
be, the
kind of
oddities?
is, though.
Dude, that
So play into it is, I guess, what I'm, making the point of. Like,
make lemonade.
yeah. Oh, somebody left the voicemail or something. Let me see.
Which is now?
Yeah, someone left the
Oh,
voicemail.
shit.
You keep going. We'll
all right.
Well, I just don't think, regardless, I think they've gone too long having it be, quote, serious. I'm gonna use air quotes when I say that. But but they've gone way too long trying to make it to now just try and turn it comedic this quickly. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it seems like a waste of all that buildup that you had, right? Like, had, I don't know.
And even as bad as the promo was, I mean, like, you're trying to make them badasses and do what they want. But, like, I think they also then have to be in matches destroying people, at any cost,
or like
necessary.
And like causing more destruction and costing people more matches and things like that. I don't know. It's me. I don't think turning it into a comedy act is the way to do it. I think, honestly, maybe the only way I can see to save it is you go, dude, like, have them show up if they're gonna do the mask, have them show up in better masks on Friday, fuck up SmackDown. Like, have them go back to being not an exclusive thing, or have them show up Wednesday at NXT.
Even better, honestly.
Have them be like, okay, so now we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, wherever we want. Start doing that. So, like, make them feel like a threat. Don't make them feel like a comedy act, because now you're running the risk of wasting this entire thing. In my opinion,
I just think that they might have, like, started this project with them to automatically turn them into that, a la the Dark Order. They
were trying to
copy the Dark Order.
Oh, that's gonna not work at all.
But that's what I think. Like, in my WWE brain, like, if I'm really like, that's what I think they might be trying to do.
Oh my God!
Is replicate that success of the Dark Order, who was tried to, like, initially come in as something scary and sinister and supernatural, which is now turned into, it's a cult now, and it's a comedy cult. Like, it's become it's one of the best bits on BTE, but I can see WWE seeing that success which it is one of the most successful bits of BTE. And I can see them looking at that and being like, "Ooh, how do we
and Vince
replicate
hates
that?"
Brody Lee portraying, him. He's like, let's fucking get him. I hate that shit.
Exactly.
Let's get him. But
beat them at their own game.
Yeah, which you're not.
You're not.
You're not. I want to say that's impossible, but it's not. So I can't I can't say it's a wrong idea or not what's happening. I just like when it started. Remember they attacked, what was it, the power transformer or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's been a lot of loopholes in this whole Retribution thing. They did it by throwing Molotov cocktails at it. There are better ways to take out a power transformer.
yeah.
To be honest. So, like the promo, like all those things, there are a lot of loopholes, but it's wrestling. So we're going to suspend disbelief for a moment.
And we should. That stuff you do. You have to. You have to.
So I'm saying, what if you keep it dark? And I kind of hate that I'm saying that he's going to be associated with this, but it could save it. Bring Aleister Black in as like an overbearing person on Retribution, right? Who then these people who have control can do anything they want. Then all of a sudden there's someone that actually has control of them and can rein them in and then provide direction rather to what's happening.
I like that a lot.
I think they already have the Black. He is not going to lose his darkness and all of that, but a little bit of a repackage. I know I mentioned it when I was saying I watched
seeing him in a suit,
seeing him in that like black suit, like he looked like a fucking badass with like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying he even has to do that, because that would also kind of be along the lines of what you're saying, Dark Order-ish, the same way that Brody Lee does it. Yeah. But I still can see them trying to do something like that. And I think that is one way that it could save it. For me, it could save it.
I think that's a really good shout. I think that's
about the best way I could think of.
Yeah,
like that's you saying it is just like that's about your best
opportunity.
Grab.
I mean, a lot of people have thrown out the Miz in previous weeks as being maybe like a potential to.
Yeah,
I don't.
I definitely don't.
I will pop a little bit if it happens. I will.
He's just not that dark.
But I don't think it works as well as what you just said with Aleister Black. I think that 100% that would be a smarter move. And Aleister Black, not that he needs any sort of repackaging by any means. He doesn't.
But he
needs to be utilized. And this could be something to give him that, I don't want to say push, but just give him the boost in the public's eye so that he would be worthy of a real main event push later down the road.
Right? And I could see it happening in a way of, they do what they want. They're fucking, tearing through Raw and causing a lot of disruption. Then they then they cross paths with Aleister, and it's all of a sudden either they can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't cross him. There's something there. I don't know. There's got to be this aura of mystique or dark power that he has that is so overbearing. And then he's saying like, you guys are going about this all wrong. Like, I will provide the direction. You will be the power, feet on the ground. I will provide the direction. We're doing this, this, and this. And it would make a lot more sense to me as opposed to just a lot of random shit happening. Granted, it's been happening, but I think you can now kind of save it by doing something like that. Then you're like, oh, someone has bottled the chaos, but it took this dark, powerful fucking thing, that Aleister Black is and I'm trying to think of anyone else who in my mind could do it. No one is beating Aleister in my mind, but like to like literally be so much darker and broader and above that it then controls them.
The only other person that I thought that might be able to pull this off would be maybe a KO. But it doesn't fit his character enough for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit any of the characters he's really portrayed.
Correct. I mean, but he. I mean, I know he's good enough to pull it off. It's.
No, he is. It just KO.
It would,
with the rare exceptions, right?
It's not him. Yeah,
like KO is a loner.
Yeah.
You know, right. Like KO is more of he's a solo guy.
I think if they did something like that, it would reinvigorate. Like, no matter what, I guess is what I'm trying to say. No matter what, they in my mind, they have to bring in someone main roster, a bigger guy, to make Retribution even passable. Like,
yes,
yeah,
it can't just be pissed off NXT kids or performance.
Also, nobody, like, you can't be like, oh, this is Slapjack. He used to be Dominic Dijakovic in NXT. Like, why the fuck? Okay.
Dio Madden.
All of the shit aside, right? Even if you brought, no matter what, like, you still have really fucked up with this whole renaming thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
That's lazy. It's just bad creative. It's fucking lazy. You had all of this time to come up with names, and you came up with Slapjack, T-Bar, and Mace.
And it's also kind of a weird parallel to protests going on in our nation, where every single one of those things are weapons being used in protests across our nation. Like, that doesn't feel...
Like, yeah, I mean, but honestly, to me, dude, like, but WWE does that sort of like weird subliminal propaganda all the fucking time. So,
yeah.
like let's not kid ourselves that they are the kings of that shit, and they are definitely, without question, a conservative leaning and agenda pushing organization.
They are.
So
they absolutely are. We'll move on a little bit. We'll move on a little bit from that because I don't want the whole
Slapjack
show.
will never not be slap nuts.
It'll
never not be slap nuts. I'm sorry, Jeff Jarrett made it a thing back in the day, and it'll live in infamy. It'll be in our brains, our hearts, and our programs. I'm sorry that you're now slap nuts.
Yeah. Sign it as that, please.
Sorry, that just slap nuts, love, Duncan.
Yeah, it reminded me, though, you were talking just a second ago, Matthew, about Aleister Black in a suit, and it made me kind of think of the corporate, situation with WWE, and how we haven't, of course, had, thankfully, that we haven't had a real, like, GM sort of situation in quite a while. We know who's running the show, but we haven't had an on-screen presence, dictating matches and what have you. But what we have had, and was something that I find fascinating because I didn't know anything about the guy, we've had Adam Pearce. And what do you guys know about Adam Pearce? Because I knew nothing about him before he started becoming kind of like a guy trying to get people to sign contracts who seems like he's backstage, in kayfabe, he seems like he's kind of in charge.
This guy.
Adam Pearce.
The guy that they had standing like up on a box or something to make him look like 20 feet taller than everyone a while ago.
They've used him quite a few times though now.
Is he Postman Pearce?
Postman Pearce. I don't know about
I think he was Postman Pearce on
hang on. I thought I had it pulled up, but my apologies. Adam Pearce. I had his Wikipedia, and it's really kind of impressive when you see that what this guy's done as an indie wrestler, and I'm like, huh. I guess I should know about this guy, but don't.
Yeah, he was
And
inducted in the NWA Hall of Fame in 2015.
yes, he was big in NWA. There's I think a lot of the stuff you'll find is NWA.
He retired in
NWA
2000
Ring of Honor.
He retired in 2014, bowing out of the indie scene after losing to longtime rival Colt Cabana. Colt at Championship
There you
Wrestling
go.
Hollywood in their 9th and final match.
So he's a 5-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. 5-time. And a 1-time PWG World Champion. So I see him backstage. I had to look him up. I've heard people refer to him. I'm like, oh wow, like this guy must have some, something to him. And I looked it up. I'm like, holy shit, this goes way back.
So I remember that he actually caused a big stir. It was on SmackDown one Friday a couple of months ago. Like I said, they had him up and like he was kind of like controlling what was happening backstage at SmackDown, like during the promos and vignettes and everything. Like everyone was coming, he's this guy talking. Everyone was like, who is this? And I looked it up and I was like, who is this? And I looked him up. Now it's all coming back to me, but I had completely forgot about it after I looked it up.
But he's kind of serving. I mean, if you watched any of the SmackDown or Raw stuff, like he's serving as a bit of a, I don't want to call it GM, but a authority figure of sorts. So it's interesting and kind of. Apparently he's also a former trainer and coach at the Performance Center. So there's that. But yeah, he, seeing him in that role, he's obviously like probably agenting and, booking matches and doing some stuff backstage that we don't know about as well. But they're putting him in that position, I think, to see how he does so that they can possibly transition him into one of those authority roles.
Another notable bullet point in his career: tested positive for COVID-19 on June 25th, 2020.
Oh, look at that!
But yeah, I can see that. I guess with Shane doing Raw Underground, you don't really have him to use because he's fucking in a basement, sweating and yelling.
He's in his happy place there.
Yeah, they should have
away from his
go
wife
down
and
to
kids.
the basement.
Why do they have a bouncer if they let everyone in? I've still wondered that.
You don't know who they don't let in.
That's true.
They don't
Again, loopholes.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me in because I'm too tough. I'll beat them all up.
Yeah, that's exactly why they wouldn't let you in.
Yep.
100%.
But they have kind of been using him for a little while now. I'm more prone to tune into Raw than SmackDown just because it's on Monday nights and like Friday nights. I'm not necessarily always just like putting something on in the background, but I don't know. I guess I've seen it more, but I could see him being good at it. They're setting him up to do it, I guess we do need some sort of. No, I'm not gonna say we do, but we have not had an authority figure.
Was he one of the guys that was by? Was he one of the guys that was by Trips all the time when they had that whole thing going with the authority and all that? Like,
no, that was Jamie Noble and somebody else, but it wasn't
all bald white guys though. Like,
well, yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. That seems to be a thing. Like he's like a younger, thinner Paul Heyman, taller too.
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't take much to be taller than Paul Heyman, to be fair.
Speaking of the whole COVID,
fair point.
Speaking of the whole COVID thing, not to dwell on anything too political by any means, because that's not what we do over here. But
I don't think if you talk about the actual facts of the virus, it's political.
No. Yeah,
there's a virus.
What? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
What?
I mean 5G. That's what I meant.
This is interesting because it came out in reports, I believe, yesterday that there was some stuff going around where like there was an outbreak of COVID-19 at the WWE
the Performance Center. Yeah. I read that. So they shut down, they stopped a bunch of the training classes and things like that because there was an outbreak. And it was it was enough to call it an outbreak. I mean, which I think it technically only takes two.
Is
in
that
one
it?
spot
Is
to
that
call
how
it
they
an
differ?
outbreak. At least in Colorado. In
Okay.
Colorado, to call it an outbreak at a location.
It's probably
it
like
takes
300 people in Florida because we're fucked, dude. Like that's.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
Duncan's face says it all.
No, it's really more the fact that like then you read reports that some people didn't even know about it,
Right.
and also the fact that like they're not in the Performance Center right now.
Well, and that's one of the first things that
They're
did.
training. That's what I was saying. They're like
but they're not. But they're training at an outside facility. The Performance Center has been undergoing a lot of refurb work since the main roster left. So they haven't been working in the PC,
Which
been
makes complete sense. I mean, they've got to like return it back around into a
that
training
wouldn't
facility.
Take very long, but they wanted to like do some upgrades while they had the opportunity.
Might as well,
so,
right?
Yeah, so they're in an offsite thing. So maybe it happened there. But as far as like if they're saying that it was the PC, like
yes, I think I'm improperly quoting that. I think
I've read the thing. It does say at the Performance Center.
It says Performance Center in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, that's is what it is then. But
it's multiple sources. There's a COVID outbreak within NXT recently, working on details, but sources indicate it may have had a decent effect on creative. I think that led up to the main roster creative, and that's what we saw with Retribution.
Which, not for nothing, including NXT, it means that, like, that's at my wife's place of work in Full Sail, like, where she has to go actually tomorrow. Like, yes, she works from home, but there are occasions where things need to be done on, signatures need to be signed and things like that.
I've also, but
so
she's
going
to be wearing a mask, and she's going to be, and other people are going to be wearing a mask.
You guys carry a high risk anywhere you go in fucking.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
She'll be fine. Like she's going to the office. It's not, it's not like she's.
But also,
it's not just like licking boot post on.
No, but what I've read also in regards to the whole COVID outbreak is a lot of people are getting lax about wearing their masks and social distancing when they need to be.
Yeah.
That's what the report also says. Is that
exactly.
People backstage have become lax with it.
So like if you're not keeping vigilant about it, of course it's going to still kick up because you could be asymptomatic and I don't know what kind of testing they're doing. Well, I mean, as far as I know, they had been getting swabbed, like nasal swabs, every fucking time they showed up to the building back when.
We won't say his name, but you're like, where all this information comes from is from a good friend of Duncan's, of course, who.
But even if it didn't come
from
there,
system,
even if that wasn't the case, right? There's enough other people that have said and like fucking filmed the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where I hear any of my shit from because
but it's nice to have somebody who's like seeing it firsthand and and
like vouching for how good everything has been.
Yeah.
So that's all I've ever heard. So like,
well, it was and it was nice when I sent over that text to you. I'm like, man, you heard about this? Because my honest concern was more of the fact like that your friend was around this, like that he could have possibly contracted or whatever.
And the first that I had heard of it was when you texted me.
And after that, I think the news did indeed spread, but it feels like. It's probably like I don't want to, man. I really don't want people to think I'm overblowing.
Well, it's none of our
or underblowing a thing.
Well, no, and you'd be talking out of the side of your head because you don't know.
Yes.
So don't talk out of school, right?
I'm not trying to.
I know, but like we don't know if it's bad. We don't know if it's not bad.
Yeah.
So, like an outbreak, like Matthew said, could be 2 people.
Or it
could be a lot
or
more
it could
than
be
2.
30 people. Like you know, I'm sure there's an actual
but
number.
Or
they
it could
have
be more than 2.
But they have verified that several PC classes in the past couple of weeks have been canceled due to this outbreak.
Sure.
And it's more than
Over the last couple weeks, you said?
It's over the past couple of weeks.
Which means that they've known about it for a while, and now it's just
well,
hitting
so
the
they
press
are saying that like with governments and the government and other organizations adopting like the track and trace policies and stuff, WWE is not doing that. And because their bottom line is more about business, is what the reports are saying, as opposed to keeping it like they're keeping it on the down low and under wraps, as opposed to doing contact tracing things.
Right, because they should be making anybody who tests positive be like, okay, who have you been in contact with here? And then all those people need to go get tested. And like, you know what I mean? Like it's a net that needs to be thrown out with contact tracing that isn't happening because shocking WWE.
Let's lighten things up if you don't mind, because I'm the one that brought it up, so it's my goddamn fault. But I will say that in lighter news, you know who's got a new pro wrestling tees store? Sue from the Dark Order, of course. Sue has got her own store now, her own shirts. Trent's mom is a bona fide wrestling superstar. How would you feel if your mom was on a wrestling shirt?
I'd love it.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome.
I'd probably be the only one that bought one, but I'd love it.
I looked at some of the designs and I'm like, you know what? They're actually kind of cool shirts.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're actually kind of good shirts. Sue's pro wrestling tees, you know, they're gonna be flying off the shelves.
I mean, that can't go on for a long time, right?
Nope.
Yeah,
it'll go on for a couple of weeks. Just like all of the other gimmicky shit that but as long as it makes them a couple grand,
good for them. Yeah,
makes pro wrestling tees a couple grand.
Yeah, like, anything that makes me a fucking couple of grand, I'm down with.
I would take it at this point.
I will put my mom on a t-shirt for a few grand.
Did either of you see the last BTE?
I have not.
No. Nope. Okay, on the last one, there's a scene, like I think it was the previous one, that Sue joined the Dark Order, but now she's basically like the Dark Order's mom. And Brody Lee, you could just see in the background. It cracked me up just watching him crack up. You know how he does the whole he's doing the Mad Vince thing almost, and he throws papers. He always throws papers at people's faces. So he had Sue come in and throw papers at Silver, and she like fucked it up. Like she pretty much like dropped it as it left her hand, and you see him just like obviously break character. He's laughing his ass off, like everyone is, as he's like, no. He's cracking up, pick it up, pick it up again, do it again. And she does it. She picks them all up and does it again. Honestly, I love what they've done with the Dark Order, and what, like, weirdly being the Elite was the thing that made them, I believe, like, acceptable again, because they were a joke. They were
the thing about BTE is it's the only time any real character progression is done in AEW storylines.
Yeah,
because they don't do it in the ring. They don't do it on Dynamite. Like well, sometimes but for the most part, the characters themselves, they might sort of like push a storyline on Dynamite, but they're not going to character develop as much on Dynamite unless it's somebody who doesn't appear on BTE.
But they've been doing long-term storytelling for, with quite a few
Sure.
characters and quite a few different angles.
Right.
So I don't.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only character development that is through BTE. Like, that BTE is what carries the story. Because, like, otherwise, typically I find watching AEW, if I don't watch BTE, it is it's like mostly just watching wrestling. It's like watching New Japan if you don't know the storylines.
So you think it's probably confusing to the casual person if they don't watch BTE and just watch AEW.
I would think so, yes.
Dynamite.
Yes.
Huh. What do you think of that, Matthew?
I mean, I think it goes back to what you guys were talking about last week when I wasn't on the show about what are they going to do for this other show that they owe Turner. I think as great as Being the Elite is, eventually they're going to try and incorporate it somehow, and it will drop off of YouTube and it will be put on either as in segments between the two shows and dark or whatever, and it'll be broken apart to be able to tell stories, which they need to, because to Duncan's point, they don't do as much character development as they should. They don't necessarily have the time, which is why they need this other show to be able to do it, but they also have a stacked roster and they're not necessarily using everyone. So they have a lot of things that are actually kind of stacked against them. So they need to figure out the best way to actually utilize and prioritize everyone and everything at their disposal, because they have a lot of talent at their disposal, not just wrestling wise, but they have a lot of talent and they have a lot of characters in these storylines, like we're saying with Being the Elite. But if you're just someone who's just watching on TNT, you're not necessarily guaranteed to be going and watching Being the Elite on YouTube, right? Right. You maybe will go check out a dark or something like that. But again, you're just getting wrestling. You're not getting any backstory. So I think they need to start bringing some of that in. It's really hard in a 2-hour episode of AEW Dynamite, which we've all complained that Raw gets extremely excessive at 3 hours, Yeah. I think at times Dynamite could benefit from that because we could use these storylines, but with Being the Elite being its separate thing, you're getting the hardcore fans, and I understand that's where it started, and I understand that that's kind of like the foundation of all of this. At a certain point, though, as you're creating a brand and you're monetizing everything, that is eventually going to shift, and it is eventually going to shift. And I think there will still be some semblance of the YouTube, and they will only do YouTube type things, but I think they need to incorporate it. And I think if they don't do that, when they bring on a second show, I think they would be stupid if they don't integrate and weave in Being the Elite into, I'm not saying make it the second show, I'm saying, but weave it in. Right. So, and especially if you weave it in between the two, you have more of a chance of people watching both shows, right? If you make it a part of it. So now you maybe have 4 hours, but you have this amount that's allotted to storytelling, because Being the Elite is 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So like
between 15 and a half an hour. Typically. It just depends. So but the more people they try and feature, the longer it gets.
Exactly. But weave that between 4 hours of programming a week, right? Right. That's easily digestible. You're getting eyes on everything. I think that would make it more cohesive. I could see them just doing it on one over the other, but I don't think that would be the smart move. I would think you bring on the second show because you want it to go hand in hand with Dynamite, and you want eyes on both. It's not like, just SmackDown or Raw. A lot of people watch both, but some people love SmackDown because of the roster. Some people, I don't think it's going to be like a brand split thing. I think it's something that's going to be more of a cohesion between everything and allowing them to do more.
Which I think we would all prefer, right? if it
Yeah,
was, if it,
I
if
would.
it had
Well,
that
and
cohesion.
look, like, I've been watching BTE for a long time, right? Like, it's
Back
been
when it was
several years,
cool,
and it
man.
used to be. What's that?
Back when it was cool, man. Like,
No, I wouldn't even necessarily say that. It was just back when everybody else started really getting into it too,
sure.
right? So I'm not one of the OG being the elite people, right? Like, I jumped in when the Bullet Club craze hit, just like
Just
most
want to say
everybody
I
else.
was into Retribution when they were throwing Molotov cocktails at fucking Transformers. So
See, look, and
rest of
Optimus
you can
Prime
go
is
fuck
still
yourselves.
mad about that.
I was too sweetened back when the Click fucking had the fucking curtain call, bro. Like, I was too sweetened back then. I was like 7.
yeah.
Seven.
I was like, no, I was
Sorry,
like,
didn't mean to
I
cut
was
you off
older
there,
than that.
Duncan.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. I was just gonna say that, like, being the elite worked better when it's like they had 4 or 5 storylines going, but they were a lot quicker and easier to digest, and they all kind of intersected each other. Being the elite now feels a lot like we're just trying to force shit in to get these people over.
The production quality went up and the creativity went down.
Yep.
Like, very, very much so. I can't blame the dudes because, hey, they've got a lot less time now and they've got other fucking actual fucking TV shows they've got to
Absolutely.
run.
I'm not trying to slam them
Yeah,
for that. However,
but it is noticeable. I'm with you.
yeah, but like
I'm with
calling
you.
it what it is, right? Like, you
Yeah.
know, it doesn't feel like when I don't watch Being the Elite, I don't feel like I really have missed anything.
Yeah, apart from weird little things like that are storyline related at times, and
Sure.
and that is unfortunate because how are the regular audience catching some of this nuance that should be like, maybe it's not the whole bit of the thing that happened on Being the Elite, but it's the 10 seconds of the bit that was on Being the Elite that then
Right.
can be played on Dynamite. Like the joke with Nakazawa baby oiling up the, turnbuckle so Matt Sydal falls at, the Casino Battle Royale or whatever it was.
Right.
That's fucking awesome. And it's hilarious.
Right.
And a lot of fans would, I think, love that, would get a kick out of things like that. But that's not being presented on Dynamite, and it should be.
I agree. That's the type of shit that you want.
That's what needs
it's
to be
part
on
of
there.
wrestling. As much as we all love wrestling, and Duncan, to your point, that like what we're seeing on Dynamite is in a way more New Japan style of things.
Exactly.
It's wrestling, it's fucking wrestling, and I love
Yep.
it, and I agree with you. Not taking away from it. But that's why we also watch Being the Elite, because we love the fucking vignettes.
Yes.
We love the storytelling that's outside of the ring as well. As much as I love the storytelling inside the ring,
it's literally
I
why
love the character
brought up
development out of the ring.
Sue.
Duncan couldn't have said it better at the beginning of this conversation, is you don't get a lot of character development on Dynamite, and you don't unless you're Chris Jericho or fucking someone who's feuding with him or someone who's feuding with the fucking Inner Circle.
Right.
Other than that, you're not getting a lot of character development.
Maybe that's what I'm kind of like thinking in that sense is as well, because there is character development, but it's only for certain people.
Correct.
And
it's for the people that are not featured on BTE.
Yeah.
So BTE is trying to get everybody else over.
Right.
And sometimes they do a great job, but it's just like, sometimes I just don't want to watch 20 minutes of
people dicking around backstage.
Of it, 20 minutes of different storyline vignettes all shoved together with no, you know what I mean? Like it feels like a sloppy student art film.
Absolutely does.
So why not, when you up the production, make it more poignant, weave it into the two shows, start telling these stories better, like being the elite has been amazing. You don't have to call it being the elite.
No,
you know?
do.
But like,
I think you do. I think you absolutely have to keep calling it being the elite because people will be mad if you don't. And I think it would serve the world better if, in part of the two shows split apart, you had the being the elite intro and kind of like the same sort of aesthetic because people are going to want that, right?
Right. But what about when the elite temporarily is not a thing? So, because
I also just think if you're going to open yourself up to a wider audience, you don't need it. Yeah, the people who've been with it since day one, okay, they're going to be kind of pissed. Other people aren't going to give two shits because they're not going to know when you open it up to the general public.
Yeah.
And
you're
it was
actually going to just
way-
be
No, you're
telling
right.
stories
You're right.
like you used to tell stories. And then eventually they're going to figure it out and be like, it's going to be like finding out about that fucking new band. And they're not that new because this is their third album and they had all these EPs and shit beforehand. You can go back and listen to them. So they're going to go back to YouTube and watch it.
And I think that's a big part of it is that BTE used to be how they would keep all of their storylines from New Japan and Ring of Honor and the Indies all kind of running so that
Make
everybody
them
could see 'em.
cohesive, like bring it all together from all these different pieces.
And now
there's
you
no
have
real need for that,
tele-
is there?
Right. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It frustrates me because I just want, like, I know it has potential to be better, but you are seeing who the more creative people are on BTE, right? Because their bits are better.
Well, Brody Lee's been fantastic. All the guys like I'll just say it. I'm a Dark Order mark because of BTE. I think what they have done is fantastic. I think it's
And
hilarious.
I think that's why
You're a
there
dark
needs,
mark.
yeah, that's a dark mark. I think that's why there needs to be more of that on the main roster shows so that more people will see that.
Yeah.
Because I also love the Dark Order, but it's because of that kind of shit. Exactly.
Yep.
You know, exactly like you said. Because of BTE, because of Brody Lee coming in and beating the shit out of him, and because of watching Silver trying to be like a sleazebag and get everybody to join the Dark. Like,
it's funny.
Little shit like that. It's just like, fuck you fucking dork. Like, and I love it.
He's a breakout guy too from that whole thing is fucking Silver. Like it really is. He's funny. He'll get his day.
I think so. So, you know.
Do you
Can
want
I
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just
predictions.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
going
just
to.
I was just gonna say this kind of leads into it, but Duncan, you were just saying as you know they're able to tell the stories between Ring of Honor and New Japan, and you know it was a catalyst for that. It made me think, and I'm sorry I keep bringing up things that you guys talked about last week. I wasn't there. My own fault. Was traveling, was not able to.
We appreciate
the
you
West
jumping
Coast
in. It's fine.
The
Dare
West
you
Coast
make
is
a
on
living.
fire, and planes were delayed and things like that. So, regardless, you guys briefly touched on Miro, his new contract, and I don't know if you guys saw the new details came out this week about his contract, where he specifically mentioned actually in an interview saying, it was in an interview or on Twitch or something like that, saying that his contract allows him to wrestle in Japan. Well, he said something like where there's the rising sun or something, you know, Japan,
Right.
and allows him to wrestle in other promotions, not just AEW. But his matches can't be televised in the United States when he wrestles for those promotions.
Okay.
So he can go to Japan, which he said has
I
always
did
been a
see
dream
this.
of his, to wrestle in Japan, and he can go wrestle for New Japan. It just can't be matches that are promoted and televised in the United States.
Not correct.
Not correct. That's what. Fact check me.
Fact checking you from what I read, it was based upon he can't like do a match for New Japan USA on a televised match that's being recorded in the United States. He can do a match in Japan that would be televised in the United States. Does that make sense? So it's
well, with
almost
the internet,
exactly
anything
what
is
you're
possible.
saying.
I mean, you're gonna record something; it's gonna be on. You could watch
Correct.
it from anywhere. He could do
Yeah.
something in fucking North Korea, and I guarantee you, we could watch it the next day on YouTube.
The reason that's built into the contract, I believe, is to kind of keep him from doing stuff, with New Japan's development in the United States.
And New Japan is recording stuff in California currently.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't want, it's the New Japan Strong or the whatever. So that's
I think what that is like that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be an asshole to you, Matthew. You're
Well,
right.
technically
You're absolutely
the same thing.
Yeah,
He still
technically the
said
same
it's
thing.
technically the
I'm
same
not trying to
thing.
be an asshole. I just wanted to preface that because it does feel, yeah, we're talking about the same shit and arguing about the same shit. Do it all the time, and it's part of my life.
So there's that, and then the other thing was I wanted to bring up was Otis and the news that basically there was no, like, Vince just kind of threw it on him. He was popular at the time. There was no plan for him to cash anything in. That's why we're seeing this Miz John Morrison thing. I mean,
where they keep stealing his lunchbox and contract and all that.
And so I guess from what I read is that they're going to end up going down this like suing path. We've seen this storyline before that they're going to say this Miz and John Morrison, we're going to sue you, but if you give us the briefcase, we'll drop charges and things like that eventually. Yeah. And that's how they get it off of it. What do you guys think?
You know what kids love? You know what wrestling fans really like is a good lawsuit.
Fucking love it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I would rather see the briefcase on either Miz or Morrison than Otis.
Otis was the wrong choice, but that's figure out a way to, I don't know, put it on.
Yeah, because it's either that or you waste the.
What if they make it so comedic and they switch out his fucking briefcase, right? And it's the same thing, but it's technically a lunchbox. So when he goes to cash it in, they fucking open it and it's like ham and he gets super excited and he just starts eating all the fucking ham, and then they run down and cash in the real one. I would love that type of comedy.
That's what's probably gonna happen. I mean, something dumb like that is gonna happen.
It's either that or they will do the sort of like pushover lawsuit like thing. But then like, how does Otis get his comeuppance out of that?
He doesn't.
They're gonna forget about him. He's gonna go back to a tag team, and then he's gonna be able to shine there. I think. I mean, unfortunately, I just think that's the way WWE is, and I mean. I would love to be wrong on that. I just think that with the talent that they had in that match, how horribly filmed that fucking cinematic match was. And
so glad I haven't watched it.
The second worst. It's the second worst one of cinematic.
Like, House of Horrors? House of
Horrors is worse than Money in the Bank, in my opinion.
But out of all of that, you chose him. And you had a lot of talent in that match.
Right. And didn't somebody yeet Rey Mysterio off the side of the building?
Yeah.
I think it was
who.
Your boy Baron Corbin. I think he yeah. I think he was the one that did that.
Yeah, I want the king to come back as a chef. Can we just bring back Baron Corbin,
I would love
please?
to. One of these days, we're going to do an interview with Baron Corbin, and we're going to explain. Me and Duncan are going to have to explain to him what our fictional version of him is.
He should come back as Chef Baron RD.
Like, we got a new gimmick idea. We've had, he will hate us so much.
First of all, he would never talk to us anyway because he's that kind of dickhead. But
it's true.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel bad for Otis. That's all I wanted to say. Really, and he did work, and it was, and it just sucks like that. He doesn't even get a shot to. I don't know what he would cash it in on. I always thought it would be like for the tag titles or something like. It wasn't going to be a world championship or something like that, or he was going to trade it for love or something like. but he didn't. Like, he's just gonna get nothing.
Yep.
Or do they
He's just
pull
gonna get nothing.
an ultimate?
He's gonna get to kiss Mandy Rose a couple times.
Or do they pull an ultimate swerve at Clash of Champions? And
He wins all the belts.
There's a cash in, like who knows? It could happen. It's not gonna happen. Nope, not gonna happen.
Speaking of Clash of Champions,
should we do predictions?
We probably should. I think we've been rolling for a minute.
Yeah, let's roll into some predictions now. All right,
Easy.
Yeah, no.
That was borderline creepy.
I know. I am a.
It was the no that made it. Just a little bit.
My bad.
El un poquito rapisto.
We'll start with the pre-show match, I guess, or kickoff show match. You went like there was something. Is there something that I need to stop for?
Oh no, I'm just we're rolling as a duo at the moment. So
we got Matthew had to dip out for a second. What happened?
I mean, chances are one of the dogs needed to go outside.
Yeah. Something's
needed
peeing.
to go outside.
Something's peeing.
Something is peeing, exactly.
We could always stop and just come back.
I don't think it should take that long. I feel like we'll
want to leave him out though of predictions.
No, we shouldn't and can't, because that
would ruin it. That would ruin the whole thing. Well, we'll talk about this then before we get to predictions. Did you know? I learned a fun fact today that the Married with Children writers named all the characters after wrestlers. I did not know this. They were wrestling fans.
Yeah, so the Bundys were named after King Kong Bundy.
Yes, indeed. Who eventually made a cameo on the show.
Yep.
Marcy and Steve Rhodes.
Okay. Yep. Named after the American son of a plumber.
And Al Bundy's co-worker, who only appeared in season 1, was named Luke Ventura.
Huh.
Yeah.
No shit.
I didn't know that shit before today. I
didn't either.
Digging around on the internet and found that one.
It's amazing the things that you learn when you're digging around on the internet.
Right.
That's hilarious.
And but it fits the show too.
It does. It does.
Underrated. Super underrated. You go back, watch those. They stand up. They're one of those.
Oh, Married with Children? Yeah. Yeah,
Married with Children.
Once again, it's on the list, the long list of shows that could never get made today.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Married
yeah,
with Children podcast?
yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
You left. He was doing his shit dance by the door, and I had to get him out on the porch on the fake grass.
I knew exactly something was happening.
I was like, dude, yeah, so we're good.
He's like, excuse me.
He started doing that little movement, and I'm like, it's about to start coming.
That little wiggling of the wiggle ass, little dog wiggle ass.
He does a little shit dance, and it was starting.
It's like when you were a kid. Did you ever do pee-pee dance? Like I remember being a kid, doing pee-pee
start
dance.
Moving.
Like
dude, and sometimes you still do that as an adult. Like if you're waiting in line at a concert back when concerts were a thing.
Oh, dude, you ever do that? You like make like a quick like jerk movement because you've been holding it and you're like in line. You're like, oh, and then you're like, did anyone notice that? I don't know. I feel like I just just like had a spasm.
Glitched out for a second. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not alone on this one, honestly.
Yeah, you're definitely not alone.
So prediction time? Is that
Let's
what
do
we,
it?
Is that what we should do?
Sorry about that. Sorry, I had to jump.
No.
It was then or never. So it was good. Just let it sit in the house and stew, or
no, you don't want to do
take care of
that.
it.
Let me just make sure that the light is on for the wife who's on her way home, and we'll.
Yeah. We'll start without you there. But first match, of course, kickoff show match. It seems like
women's.
Yeah, women's match with Asuka and Zelina Vega. Zelina. Yeah, I think Asuka is clearly
Well,
going to
you're the
retain that
champion.
one.
Don't you
Yeah.
go last?
Oh yeah, well
He does whatever he wants.
Does what I want.
Oh, yeah.
He's like Retribution. He's the Retribution of the podcast.
Yeah.
Until
Minus the
until it
mask.
gets to the Monday night prediction, and then
Oh
I
yeah.
Jesus.
can only do so much.
All right, I'll go. Matthew, you want to take the first one since you weren't here last week?
I'm gonna go Asuka. I mean,
Yeah, I
it's a kickoff show. There's no way they're gonna change the hands, and like also how lazy was the writing into this? Basically, Zelina Vega says, "I want a match." She beats Mickie James, and she has it.
Which is kind of a shame because I think there is some actual potential with Zelina Vega. Like I don't think that
I think so too. I just think
Yep.
there needs to be more of a story build. I think
Yep.
she can do it on the mic. She has proven that she can, that she can wrestle at least the little bits that I've seen in WWE. God, she's tiny as fuck though when you see her in real life. Like,
Yeah.
she is small.
she is so small. But she does have she's really pretty. She fucking is good on the mic. She can manage people, and she's able to pull off fucking wrestling maneuvers. So she kind of has everything. Now let's see her go the distance in a match. I think putting her up against Asuka, especially on a pre-show when it's free, so everyone else can see it, is a good way to expose
is this a
her wrestling
showcase?
skills.
Yeah, is this
And
maybe...
then you can then kind of work her into that women's division a little bit more. So I'm going for Asuka.
Yeah, Asuka as well.
Yeah, I think we're all Asuka across the
Yep.
board there. I do think there is a strong potential with Zelina Vega over time. And I do think that she, weirdly, she reminds me of my wife. So, yeah, there's that one as well. Moving forward. Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews, singles match for the WWE United States Championship. Guess that would go to you, Duncan?
I'm going to say Bobby Lashley
All right.
for the simple reason that's just like, man,
That they've done this a million times, and
Well,
they need to be
and-
fucking done with it.
yes.
Yeah.
They need to be
Yeah,
done
this-
with it. Be
yes.
done with it. Like,
Yes, they
Lashley
do.
needs to win. Fucking move on.
Yep.
Apollo Crews doesn't need to win. He doesn't need to have Lashley coming after him for it again. They've been fucking wrestling each other forever. Fucking, there are a couple of times I'll say this on the predictions, but be fucking done with it.
Yep.
It's done. It's run its course. I don't care if it's COVID. I don't care if you don't have a crowd. I don't care if your creative has got fucking COVID, whatever. I'm fucking tired of watching it. I'm tired of seeing it. It's fucking bullshit. Be done with it. Move on.
Matthew is mad at Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews. He is mad. Like, he is going.
I am mad.
Mad Matthew.
That and the fucking tag team championship. God damn it. I don't need to see that for the 15th fucking time.
So I don't think I need to ask you. You're going Bobby Lashley. I would assume
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hell,
Sorry.
I don't-
I'm a little heated when it
I
comes
was
to
gonna
Yeah.
say which tag team fucking championship at that.
The hurt business clearly hurt Matthew a little too hard. I think. But-
show us on the Hurt Business where they hurt you.
Yeah.
I can't do it on Twitch. I don't want to get banned.
We just got affiliate status. We don't want to get
Yeah.
thrown
Don't get
off.
us kicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not that cut and dry with it because the hurt business have just got themselves in some trouble with Retribution. So that leads me to believe that Retribution might fuck over Bobby Lashley's and help Apollo Crews win the belt, and that's why I'm gonna go Apollo Crews on this one.
I don't hate it as much as I hate the match, but
Yeah, I will be. Oh, I'll be so excited watching that one.
I will say though, if they don't do that, then I I could see Retribution going after the Hurt Business for the championship.
Yeah. That's sort of more where I'm thinking is that they're gonna do a Hurt Business.
I like where your head's at though. It doesn't.
It totally makes sense. I get it.
I'm gonna stick with Apollo Crews, and we'll move on to the next match. Again, no particular order because we don't know the order, but the number 8 match on Wikipedia is the Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza tag team champ Raw tag.
We're gonna get mad Matthew again.
I'm fucking mad. Seriously, I read it earlier today or yesterday. It was fucking. They have faced each other 13 or 14 times this fucking year.
That's ridiculous.
This fucking year in some fashion.
It's too much.
Be fucking done with it. Move on to someone else. I'm tired of seeing it. I could give 2 shits about this match anymore. As good as both of these tag teams are, I'm tired of seeing them wrestle like each other. I've seen the spots they do with each other. I've seen the moves. Like, they're great fucking tag teams, but like, I'm tired of this fucking storyline, and I'm tired of them going after each other. Again, fuck COVID, fuck creative, fuck everything. Be done with it. I don't really even care who wins.
You gotta predict. You gotta predict though. You know who do you think?
Then fucking give it to Angel Garza and Andrade.
All right, he's going Andrade and Angel. Matthew's going with the double A on that one. What are you picking there, Dunks?
I agree that needs to be done. My problem is that if you put it on Andrade and Angel Garza, then they're going to have to do a rematch for it.
Again. And then we keep going round the same.
And then we go in this circle forever, and then we die. So I am going to say the Street Profits to fucking end this. And I know that it's because they don't have any other, like, who else are they going to put at them? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
they're going to have another fucking 100 matches, even if the titles change hands or even if they don't.
No, I know. There's no, like, this is honestly
this
like.
This is the Groundhog Day of fucking wrestling.
This is the most bitter that we've been doing predictions in a very long time.
Matt,
and I'm not gonna
usually
lie.
it's Duncan
I'm
that's the bitter one.
Yeah,
Duncan, usually it's you, Duncan, that's the bitter one. Now Matthew is just
sorry. I'll be done.
Dude, Matthew
overtaking
can be
your
bitter. I'm
bitterness.
apathetic. You're the only one that gives a shit, I think.
He's got something to lose. That's right.
Exactly. Like
I said, I came here to booze and lose, baby.
That's right.
Well, I'm here to fucking sin and win, and I'm gonna go with the Street Profits as well.
Sin and win. First of all, we all know that sinning is my gimmick. So fucking
everyone's gimmick infringing tonight.
Seriously.
Moving on to match number 3 or whatever the fuck 4. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus Sami
Match
Zayn.
number that one.
Triple threat match, ladder match, apparently for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Are you AJ Styles right now?
I did go a little AJ, didn't I?
I will say this match has the ability to be.
It's gonna be the match of the night.
It's gonna be match of the night. You're not gonna get angry, Matthew, right now. Throw some positivity in there, power positivity. It's gonna be match of the night. These fucking 3 in a fucking ladder match. Yeah. Like, I think they have the ability to pull off a fucking really good, amazing match here.
I do too. It's probably. This might be one for the ages, to be honest with you. Like, it should be the main event. It won't be, but I'm not saying who I'm picking yet.
I mean, I guess that's the question, though, right? Is like
anyone could win this one, right? Like,
Sami Zayn never lost his title, so you've got, you know what I mean?
And I loved Sami with the title. That's
Me
the thing.
too.
Like, Sami was great with that title. Does he have the ability to overcome Jeff Hardy in a ladder match and the phenomenal one, AJ Styles? Those are 2 big people to go up against, especially when you put ladders in it, with Jeff, I believe, called for. So
I think so.
Right? Jeff did call for the ladders, correct? Am I correct, Owen?
Yes, he did.
Can you?
Yes, he did.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously Hardy Boys have a fucking huge history with ladders, so there are a lot of parts at play here. AJ again doesn't necessarily need the title. Would he elevate it? Sure. I'm not sure that it needs elevation or is going to be that elevated at this point, even with AJ.
Doesn't need it.
But I think it could be more elevated, or at least more prominent if Sammy had it.
Ooh,
and
okay, yeah.
I'm going back and forth between, and Duggan, you can interject because I'm just going to keep talking for a moment.
No,
here. But I'm going between Sammy and Jeff Hardy.
You're going between Sammy and Jeff Hardy. I'm going between Sammy and AJ.
Okay. What's your reasoning there?
I don't know. Mostly, like, I'm not really watching. I just
but keeps AJ strong. Like, it's definitely
keeps AJ strong. Why does Jeff Hardy need to be the Intercontinental Champion? Like, is he elevating the title?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, fuck it. I'm gonna say AJ. Because then Sammy can come at him with the whole "I never lost the title," whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can see Sammy worming his way into a match with it, and then so I'm just gonna go AJ for slap and tickle.
Matthew. He's oh, you could see.
I know.
The pain in that man's face. It's
the pain of a man who wants his championship back.
He does. He wants it.
He held it for so long.
You guys think, yeah, all of y'all's, you'd be like, I don't know, it's just a prediction championship. I don't care. Everyone wants it. Everyone wants to win.
Everyone wants it.
Everyone wants to win.
Fuck, as much as I want to go Sammy, I think they're going to keep it on Jeff.
All right. Going Jeff?
I really want Sammy to win, but they're going to keep it on Jeff.
All right. Well, I'm going Sammy. Sami Zayn. Absolutely. I think it's they wrote the storyline for exactly this. It's perfect.
See, and also Matthew talks about boozing and losing. It was like, we know who the loser is going to be. That's going to be me.
Sinning and winning, bro. Sinning and winning.
I'm sinning and losing. Fuck you both.
Not even drinking. You're not even boozing.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Lucha House Party.
Oh,
I really care about this match. It's probably
it's gonna be
5 stars,
Shinsuke
6 stars, 6 stars.
Again,
6
talk
stars.
about doing something like 900 times.
It's gonna be Shinsuke and Cesaro.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
He just wants to just bleed. Yeah, just Shinsuke Cesaro. I'll just put it as Shinsy, and then
Shinsaro.
Yeah, Shinsaro right there. Matthew, you going with Shinsaro or are you going?
Yeah, because if you're not putting the fucking titles on them or pulling the trigger on any of them as singles, then what the fuck is the point of dragging this out? You might as well just have them wrestle the Street Profits and fucking whoever else they were.
I thought that's what was happening. I thought we were getting the Cesaro and Nakamura versus the Street Profits happening at some, but whatever. Owen, are you going Lucha House Party?
I am. I'm absolutely going LHP, baby. I think it's gonna happen. I've seen a lot of stuff with Lince Dorado on Twitter and social medias with him presenting a possible new gimmick, which I think we'll see the debut of when they win these belts. So Lucha House Party it is for me, baby.
How are you every Southern gimmick all at once? You're AJ, you're Heath. What the fuck? Are you gonna throw a Michael P.S. Hayes at me? Like, what? But you're British until you're Southern. I don't understand.
Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I just got gimmicks. Nia Jax.
Nia Jax, not Nia.
Whatever.
Jax.
I don't like her. And
we know,
yeah.
and we know why.
Super Duper Fly and Shayna Baszler versus the Riot Squad. Tag teams women's championship.
Fucking give Liv a belt.
Yeah, feels right.
Ruby
doesn't it?
deserves it too.
Yeah.
Like Nia and Shayna, they're not a good match. It's like if it seems like they were put together to be this powerhouse in order to break up and take the titles and break up what was it, the role models, the iconic, whatever the fuck it was.
It was the role models.
The role models.
Yes,
the golden role models. So yeah, I was right. But regardless, I think it seems like too much of just like a weird thrown together pairing for it to be a long-term thing for me. I also think getting the Riot Squad back together, did read an article about Sarah Logan and her seeing the Riot Squad get back together after she had obviously said she's taking a break from wrestling. I believe she's pregnant right now.
Yes.
And she had just recently
She's
gotten
with
married to
one of the
Viking
guys.
Viking Raiders.
The skinnier guy,
Eric from the Viking
Ivar,
Raiders, like last
The one
year or
that's
something
not
like that.
getting neck surgery.
right?
Yeah,
Which
she
good luck to that guy, man.
But
That
she was very happy. Obviously, she was, and in the interview or whatever, and she's like, "I'm very happy that they got, that they're doing this. Do I wish I was there with them? Sure, but I'm doing this and I'm pregnant." But very, very positive about the whole thing. But I think with Liv, there's been so much going on with Liv. You got to do something. And I think rejoining with Ruby is fucking badass. I think bringing the Riot Squad back is badass. I think them having the titles will elevate those women's titles. And I am very much looking forward to them beating the shit. And I think it'll be awesome to see like even Ruby Riot and Shayna Baszler go at it. I think they could pull off some good spots together.
It could be
I think that even Liv, you're going to see that fucking scrappy fucking part of her. Nia, I don't even give a fuck if she comes to the ring, but the rest of it, I think, I think it could be an okay match. It's not going to be like the best match ever, but I think it could be an okay match. And I'm going, Liv Morgan and
going Riot Squad there.
Yeah, I'm going same just because it's sort of an underdog thing. I don't see a whole lot of titles changing place on this pay-per-view, so right. I think that a couple of a quote unquote shock one would be good to see, because also
I've bet on a lot of changes on this pay-per-view, but I'm also gonna bet on this one as well with you, because it just feels like Shayna's,
right. Nia and Shayna's inability to work as a team is gonna bite them in the ass. So,
and it would also make for a decent feud for Shayna Baszler coming out of it, to have a feud with Nia. So that's another reason that, in my opinion, that's already there and works. So just kind of go with it. And Liv's very popular, and so is Ruby. So it'll work. It'll work if they
let
do
Liv win. Let Liv win.
Bailey versus Nikki Cross.
God, something I've never seen before.
I know.
Nikki Cross.
Yet again.
Ooh.
That's right. I'm going there.
You went there real quick, huh?
Sasha's gonna cost Bailey the match.
No shit.
And Nikki Cross is gonna take the title.
Matthew? Because
I don't think Sasha and Bailey need the title to have a banger match.
That's fair. That is very fair. They don't.
They don't, but I think it will add.
Oh, it's a very
sure,
of course it will. But I'm just going with unpopular opinion, and
I would love to
see it.
I would love to see Nikki Cross as the champion. I think it would be great.
Even if she holds it for a month, couple weeks to a month,
transitional,
you know what I mean?
Champion or whatever.
They dicked her over with Sanity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they've been doing this match since fucking spring 2019. Again, we've seen it 45 times in the past fucking year. And guess what? If I've learned anything about WWE, they will continue to do this shit, and they are not going to give it to Nikki Cross. So I'm going to go with Bailey.
Yeah, Matthew, I'm right on the same page.
I don't think
Vince
they're
loves
going
Karens.
Vince does love Karens because his wife is one.
Yeah.
I'm
And I don't think that, like, I don't realistically think that that's going to happen, but that's what should happen.
It is, and I like
So-
I like where your head's
I
at.
almost want your prediction to work more than what I think is going to happen. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be Bailey, but I want it to be Nikki Cross because I think that would be
time.
more.
It's time.
It would be
like
more
I said,
exciting.
We've seen it fucking 90 times already. Like, let her have her comeuppance. Like you just said, Duncan, they fucked her over with Sanity.
Yeah.
They've fucked her over a few times. Really,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And even if, right, like even if Nikki took the belt, they can immediately segue Sasha and Bailey into their feud without having to worry about a rematch
Huh?
with Nikki Cross, because Sasha and they could, like, that could be the immediate, like, you cost me my title, well, you cost me my title.
That's
you know
a
what I
solid
mean? Like,
point.
it's an eye for an eye.
That's a solid point, man.
So, I mean, I am booking hopeful. I'm not booking realistic.
Hey,
I'm booking hopeful.
we do what we
Once
want.
again, I'm sinning and losing.
I love it. Make it rhyme, bro.
No, that's the kind of poet I am. I don't need to fucking rhyme. I don't conform to your rules.
Oh, good point. Good point. 2 more matches, and of course they are both heavyweight championship matches. One being the Universal Championship match, which we all know how we're gonna vote on this one, I believe. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso.
Yeah, Paul Heyman wins.
Samoan's gonna win.
Samoan will 100%.
You know-
that's not a spoiler, or that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
You know who
Samoan
else will win? Owens' racism against Samoans.
You watch this fucking 5-star match. It's the best one of the year.
Yeah.
and shit.
Well, whatever, dude. And I heard you say it last week on the podcast, and that you haven't been a big fan of the Usos, but I had been a fan of the Usos, like especially when they were doing the at the beginning before it got real kitschy, when they were just started coming out with their original day one-ish
The
shirts
day one-ish,
before they
yeah.
became like dude, they're fucking good wrestlers. They're fucking
With
good
the
wrestlers.
fashion police.
Yeah.
What is day one-ish?
Ish.
Day one
Yeah.
is H.
Day one is H.
Jay-
But they're
Jay
good.
has been absolutely
They're
killing
good
it
fucking
in
wrestlers.
this.
I think Jay coming back looking as good as he's fucking
Yeah.
looking fucking
Ever looks. Good as
dude,
he's ever looked.
dude, I think this is going to be a fucking great match. Obviously, Roman is gonna win.
Yep.
But
Yep.
guess what? This is finally something new that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm in for it, man. Like, it's
so
really
I'm
cool.
fucking excited for it.
We know that Roman's going to win. We know that Roman's going
But
to
I think
win.
because we know that,
But-
I think they're gonna put on a fucking program.
and that's what
And
they're
I think
gonna
that
do.
it's going to look better than anybody, not necessarily us. I think we all know that it's going to look like a good match because those two know each other and they will work well together because they've been in the ring together so many times.
And it's gonna. I guess it's gonna surprise the casuals. Is probably the best
It
way
should
to put it.
It
And,
should.
and I
It should.
think
And
I
honestly,
really do
it
think
should
it will.
step Jey Uso up a notch.
That's one that
And it should put.
I will make my wife watch and be like,
Yeah.
hey,
And it's cool to see one of the Usos getting like a solo push.
Yeah. And dude, like,
Absolutely.
honestly, I could see Jay doing, like, if Jimmy isn't around, I can see Jay being in line for an IC title shot.
I'd be all down.
You know what I mean?
I'd be down for that too. I'd be
Yeah.
all
So,
about
yeah.
that.
So we're all Roman, all
Yeah,
around. And then do we get Angry Matthew again because we get another match that we've seen for the 400th time? Because, dude, I could not be more.
I couldn't be more ass with this one either.
Yeah, and now that they've made it a fucking ambulance match, like, okay, so they've made an ambulance match, which is a way for them to keep Drew looking strong. So the outcomes are either Orton wins, Drew looks strong because he goes away in some ambulance. Somehow there's a no contest or something like that, and they both get fucking laid out.
Angry Matthew
Or
is awesome.
fucking, here's the deal, Retribution fucking pulls some shit, and comes in, and there's a fucking no contest draw
Yep.
again, and so there is
Yep.
no fucking winner.
That's exactly what happens. That's what I think happens for sure. I want to call it like a no, like a no contest. No, I'm going to call it a no contest.
That's what I want to call it too. It's a no contest.
I'm going to say no winner.
I'll give you. Does DQ count as no contest?
It wouldn't be a no. It would be a no. It would be a no contest because an ambulance match is a no DQ match.
Yeah.
So if Resurrection lays them both out and nobody gets
Resurrection.
Oh, sorry. That was a pay-per-view, wasn't it?
Slapjack. Come on, man.
Slap nuts.
Yeah, get it right.
Yeah.
T-Bone.
So yeah, if Rutabagas get involved, and you know what I mean, like if Sanity 2.0 gets involved and lays them both out,
you go no contest.
I'm gonna say no contest, and so Drew retains, I guess, if that's what you're looking for.
Ooh, no, that's not how we play the game though. Who wins? Who wins the match?
There is no winner.
There's no winner in a no contest.
Well, that's your decision to choose.
The call is there is
that's
no winner.
That's what I said. There is no winner.
Okay. Well, I'll put NC down
for
you.
No contest. NC.
I'm putting that
or
down.
Or NW for no winner.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you, Matthew?
I'm going with that too.
You going with NC as well?
Yeah, because with the way that they've now just so coincidentally unmasked or masked Retribution. They did an unmasking and masking at the same time. I'm glad to see Retribution's wearing masks though during COVID.
It's
true. I don't think they're wearing the right type of mask.
They're not.
I will say that I think
it's weird. Why wouldn't they put like they
like
have holes in
there?
Yeah, they get a filter, bro. Like put the filter in the thing.
Yeah, like, right. One of those, those P2 filters or whatever. Yeah. But I just think that Retribution will attack and lay them both out. I think we're gonna see the storytelling that Randy Orton was going to win, but something's gonna happen at the end. And again, it's the way to keep Drew looking strong while keeping Randy in this picture. And yet again, dragging this shit out so I can see it for the 900th time because we are all living in fucking Groundhog Day in our fucking self-isolated houses.
Well, I'm going to win the game because I'm going to predict Randy Orton to win this match. And I'll tell you why Randy Orton's going to win this match. They're going to do Keith versus Keith, aren't they, after it? Randy.
Keith versus Keith?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Keith versus Randy Keith? Oh, I see what you did there. You were trying to be cutesy, and it didn't work because I had to think about it.
But I can see that that's a match that they want to fucking do. Yeah, it probably doesn't need the title on it.
So what do you do with Drew?
Thank you.
Changing it.
Can't have Drew just go after Roman.
I'm taking my mulligan, and I'm going with Drew McIntyre retains. I just changed it. There you go. That's
well, in a no contest, technically he retains.
It's true.
You guys chose no contest.
But if we call no contest,
we get a point, and yes.
So it trumps. If there is a no contest, it beats your call of Drew winning.
I am saying by putting down Drew McIntyre that he wins the match. He's the definitive victor of the bout. You guys are saying no contest. So
there is no definitive winner.
Correct. Yeah, I just wanted to make it cool.
Yeah,
and he can still retain. Just wanted to make sure we were clear on this.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so it doesn't matter if we call, if we call no contest, obviously Drew still retains. But
that's because I'm a real champion. I defend things correctly. I don't play these numbers. I don't play these games. I want to make sure that I win definitively, and I will do so once again for the third time in a row on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I believe I'm the longest retaining ONW
We weren't
champion,
doing
and I
the
won week
podcast
after
then.
week after week. And guess what? You know what? Next week, instead of boozing and losing, I'll be winning and grinning, my friend. You can guarantee that. That is a fucking fact check.
Right?
That.
Okay, you motherfucker. You'll see. You'll see. Oh, you guys see that there was some Talking Shop Mania 2 stuff announced. We'll have to do. I'm thinking maybe we should do like a watch along for that one. It's gonna be like Friday the 13th in November 13th. On a Friday, we should do an Ono Wrestling like Twitch watch along where we all kind of tune in for that. I'd be down with that. That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
We should 100% do that. The last bit of news that I've got that I wanted to just throw out there before we get off air is that Roman Reigns has apparently said that he's going to be changing his ring attire and music. We should be tuning in on Sunday, he says, because you'll see me with a shirt off.
Ladies.
He also said that
My mother-in-law is gonna fucking be jumping at the TV.
Yeah. You like that Samoan sex machine. You tune in on Sunday.
She's fucking it's obscene. Thought she was gonna molest the cardboard cutout at Access a couple years ago.
Oh, remember that girl at Access when we went?
Yes,
remember that girl who was
like,
literally like snail trailing the.
She was about to
cardboard
blow
cutout
a cardboard cutout. She was about to find it. Like she was gonna glory hole it and put a dildo through it.
Yeah.
And she was gonna suck Roman Reigns' cardboard cutout off at Access. And we could have watched it. We could. I just want everybody.
She wasn't terribly unattractive, to be honest with you.
But it was filmed for the WWE Network,
and it was weird. It was definitely weird.
Yeah. Conventions are weird. Wrestling fans are weird. When you put conventions and wrestling fans together, it's super weird. Starcast.
Yeah.
The one in Chicago was weirder than the one in Vegas.
Yeah, I only got tasted it.
They said he's still going to be wearing pants, so I guess that's good for me at least. I didn't want to see him.
Okay,
but
fine.
But it goes against.
Boring.
It goes against everything, and I will have to fact check myself on this actually and go back because like a couple of months ago
we say that
I was talking about that. So I read these, and I read 2 or 3 articles that he wore this thing because he wore this brace. So now I'm thinking that when he was not wrestling during this COVID thing, that he is actually somewhat of like, not only did he get veneers, get jacked, but he has now infused his bones with adamantium.
That's what I would have
like.
done.
He is now being able to regenerate.
Dude, he is just one wall of hernia mesh. Like he's adamantium hernia mesh all the way around.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. He is, either that or they just like they pulled open like his, like the skin on his ribs, pulled it open, put like some steel mesh like inside, sewed it down, let him heal up over those couple of months.
On a radio show, we use the term optimize a lot. I think he just optimized his abs.
Dude, this is the most optimized Roman Reigns I've ever seen, and I'm for it.
I mean,
I know. That
I just hope when he does this now that he shoots shit out of his fucking fingers.
Fucking like Wolverine, he's got blades that pop out.
Yeah.
As long as it makes the noise, that's all that I'm gonna care about. But I do think it's funny because when he was in NXT, when he started in NXT, he wore just regular trunks. Like he wore.
Yeah, I've seen video of him in regular trunks.
Yeah, so like back in the day, that used to be his thing. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to be wearing. I don't care what he's wearing.
And apparently new theme music, which if you think about it, he needs,
which is good. He
needs it, and he hasn't had the chance to, I guess, like play the new theme music yet because he keeps just showing.
Go boring.
Don't
boring.
Don't fuck it up, WWE. Don't fuck it up. Don't
Boring.
fuck it up. You
Don't
got
fuck
a
it up
good.
like they.
You
Right,
guys
they
have a
did
good
that.
thing going. Don't
But they
fuck it
fucked
up.
up. They fucked up Keith
Well, if
Lee's
he-
music.
I know.
So
Don't fuck it up.
If he shows up to a match on time, he might actually get like the music played, but he keeps showing up late and signing contracts at the end, the 10th hour, and you don't get your music played when
That's fair.
Do that.
I read an interesting thing. I will re-look this up for next week if you guys are interested in it at all. But we were talking about like trunks versus tights and things like that a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
So I did pull up. I looked it up. Like, why do wrestlers choose trunks versus tights? And I found a couple of articles that were saying that like it actually technically, while they can choose and while creative can help choose, there is actually like trunks, tights, pants, those type of things go to specific types of characters and specific storylines.
Oh wow.
So if you're a specific type of character in a storyline that's carried on through it, like you are typically given this type of ring attire. So I will try and reread that and maybe send it to you guys. And
That's
it could be
fantastic,
just a
'cause-
cool thing to talk about, just since we were talking about it. Because I've always wondered that too. Why do some people choose this and that? And I feel like sometimes it's forced on them. Sometimes they have a choice. I think Moxley was a great example of that. I mean, we had him in WWE, then we have him in AEW, then we have him in New Japan, and we've seen, these different types of things. But
right.
I don't know. I did look it up and I did find a couple articles, so I will send that your guys' way.
Yeah, I'd love to
But
see
I think
that.
it'd be interesting to at least talk about it. I don't know
It's
how true any of it is, but it's kind of cool to
It's a
read about.
fantastic cliffhanger for the end of the episode as we wind out of things. Guys, I do want to mention, if you are a fan of Ono Wrestling, of Ono Radio Show, or anything that Ono Media does, please do us a favor right now and subscribe to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/ONRS Live. That'd be very much appreciated. There's a way to do it, and I'm going to put out an infographic of how easy it is to link your Amazon account for free with your Twitch account and all that bullshit. But basically, guys, what I'm telling you is there is a way that you can give us money that doesn't cost you any money and gives us money every single month. So I'm going to present that. Hopefully you enjoy that, and hopefully you do it. And you can do that over at onowrestling.com or our Facebook group. And of course, Ono Radio Show and our Facebook group as well. These two fine gentlemen happen to have their own podcast. It's not exactly Ono related, but it's might as well be. It's pretty fucking good. Check it out. These are my good friends, and they do a great thing over at Nobody Cares, GoHarder.com. Anything else that we need to have?
I'm going to be winning and grinning next week. That's
Winning
all
and
I'm
grinning?
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Winning and grinning. You're going to be losing and boozing.
I'm going to be sitting and grinning, and I'm going to be chasing tails and blazing trails. Boys, what do we say when we get out of here?